Hello guys and welcome to episode number 44 of What the Tech. My name is Adam Lobo.
My name is Vernon. Great to be back.
And today we are going to be talking about, it's been a while since we talk about hands-on devices because it's early of the year. And if you know this particular tech scene, early of the year means that it is a little slow when it comes to a lot of devices kind of things. The huge rumor is that after Chinese New Year, that's where we'll be seeing a wave of smartphones coming out, one of which is, of course, the Samsung S26 series. Yeah. But today, we are going to be talking about the Huawei Mate X7. The video is out. In case you all haven't seen it, do check it out. And we'll also be talking about how there is very sad news for our friends of or the people from ASUS because their phones are saying bye-bye. So
maybe not sad for them, but sad for consumers.
Exactly. Maybe they're like, I've got one less headache for us.
Because everyone's focusing on AI, so they're moving that.
And also they do have tons of other very good products anyway. Yeah. So we'll talk about that. And of course, we also will talk about the position of OnePlus. Because honestly, like here in Malaysia, OnePlus is like a...
one minus.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Jeff, you can cut there. All right, let's start off with Mate X7. Now, what I've done is that besides giving and going through the first impressions, one thing which I would love to do, but I didn't have the time to do, is to actually compare against the best foldable of last year, which is the Z Fold 7, right? Now, before we go through the design and the build, and I'm just going to take this away so you don't see it.
Oh.
Yeah. And don't feel it. So now you hold this. Give me your first impressions when it comes to the Huawei Mate X7.
It feels, okay, this is the first time I'm looking at it.
Yeah, I know.
Disclaimer.
That's why I extended our review period to give it back this evening. So Said, don't forget to give it back to Huawei.
It's super, super thin.
Mm-hmm.
Is this even thinner than the Z Fold 7?
A very good question.
Seems like it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think, again, we're limited by
the USB-C
by how big the USB-C port is and how deep that is. But really, this is super thin.
Mm-hmm.
Feels very nicely built. And when it's closed, it's almost like a regular like candy bar phone.
Yeah.
Which is nice. I think that's something that people want.
Yeah.
Feels very good. I mean, okay, I heard that it's the crease is very unnoticeable, but I think the crease is there for me. I mean,
I can see it from here too.
Yeah, it's not there yet in terms of that. I would say it's comparable to the Samsung, the Z Fold 7.
Mm-hmm.
I like the build. The build is really nice. Yeah. I think the width is also really nice because I can hold it with one hand.
Yes,
which is quite nice. Yeah, nice display. And yeah, overall well built. I guess the camera module design is quite all right. I'm not a fan of it, but I don't think it looks bad. Mm-hmm. Texture is really nice. So you got a bit of a faux leather kind of texture. I like it.
Yeah. Nice.
Looks good.
Yeah.
Okay, rounded corners.
Yeah, exactly. So that's one of the main things, right? Compared to the Z Fold 7, it's a little more squarish, and people who don't like those sharp edges, although it's not technically very sharp, I think this would be a more compelling option for people who want to have a more curved.
Do you know, based on the leaks or purported leaks of the iPhone Fold, the form factor is a little bit like this, right?
Yeah, it's curved on the sides.
Curved.
Yes.
On the sides.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay.
Like it. It's
so
good. Looks good.
Very good point. Now the thing is that when I initially had these first impressions and of course did a video about it, it did feel very good in the hands. It is very thin, but I've always wondered at the back of my head whether or not it is really thinner than Samsung's Z Fold 7. And during first impressions, if you don't really compare side by side, if you really look at numbers, believe it or not, it is still not as thin as a Z Fold 7. Yeah. So according to the spec sheet, unfolded, the Huawei Mate X7 is 4.4 mm, but the Z Fold 7 is 4.2.
Super marginal, but
so
still.
That's means Mikhail is crying. Poor boy. Poor my wife.
No, he's tuning into the podcast.
Yeah, exactly. So if you put it side by side, then you can really kind of see. But honestly, I think if you really look at it, if you're seeing through this particular camera, because of how the sides are a little more curvy, so it still looks thin, but you're talking about like a 0.2 mm
it's
difference.
very marginal.
So
Very marginal.
for me, even though yes, if you look at the spec sheet, it is thinner on a Z Fold 7, but similar arguments could be made like what Honor did, and then they pull balik.
Right.
Remember when I mentioned about how they're thinner than the Z Fold 7, and then they pull back their marketing campaign. Fantastic job, Honor. So yeah, and then here's another thing. When it's folded, this is also something which I wanted to find out by having both phones side by side. Folded, like what Abang says, that it does feel like a regular smartphone. Like that is the iPhone 15 Pro Max. This is the iPhone 17 Pro Max, and you can see that it's exactly the freaking same size. But of course, if you want to compare it against the Z Fold 7, it is also about that, because again, the Z Fold 7 is thinner because this is 9.2 mm. This is 8.99. I mean 8.9, right? The materials, this does feel a little more heavier compared to the Z Fold 7. I will pass it to you. It has the aerospace grade carbon fiber.
Right.
So in terms of durability, that's why the so-called presentation that I did for the first impressions was trying to tell people that you don't have to baby the phone anymore.
Yeah.
Every time, like last time, even when I hold a Z Fold 7, although it's very durable, but there's a sense of whenever you hold a foldable, you like hold it in two hands. You don't hold it in one hand. Right. Currently, I am rocking the iPhone 17 Pro Max without a case. I do have that anxiety a little of like, okay, better not drop it because I got no case kind of thing. Yeah. But when I was using this for 1 week, I didn't have that similar thing. The hinges is also very silent, but I do not agree about how, if they are selling about a point that, that the crease is very not so visible. I don't believe in that.
Yeah.
Again, we had this conversation last week about how crease doesn't bother me, but
they look about the same.
They look about the same. Yeah. It's not better. It's exactly the same. And of course, we are all looking forward towards the iPhone creaseless, and if it comes to the iPhone or not. But I don't care. I just want to see this in real life. So speaking of seeing it in real life, last week when we had Mr. Matthew Ng from Samsung over here, he brought his trifold.
Oh yeah, I did.
It's so much nice in person. Like even like Lee Hood and Syed trusted. I wished you were around. So he's actually using that as his daily driver.
You should have left it on the table, isn't it?
Tell me about it. I almost tried to make
Matthew.
Like say, but just leave it there. But yeah,
Matthew, I'll call you.
Exactly. So in terms of the inner screen, it's an 8.01 inch LTPO. Peak brightness is 5,000 nits, which is madness. I don't fully agree.
Nits.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that? Our TVs are like 500 nits and phones are like 5,000
Exactly.
What the hell is going on?
Durability wise, it has an outer screen which uses Kunlun glass Gen 3.
Okay.
Kunlun
How
glass
is that compared to
Corning?
Corning, yeah.
I honestly feel like Kunlun is so much better. It's like so much hardier. And this is like way back in the HUAWEI P60 Pro, where we got Mustadam to drop the phone and it just...
Has anyone done like a comparison test? Durability test?
I mean, they did individual ones, but nobody did a side by side. This would be a very interesting thing. If only like we could buy one.
Maybe.
So Jerry Rick did a Redmi teardown. Did you see it? I want to see it.
The latest one?
Yeah, the latest Redmi. This is the first time I think Zach from Jerry Rick's Everything actually did it. But yeah, aside from that, the camera. So one thing for sure is the fact that the camera quality on the Huawei Mate X7 is not compromised. Very high quality. It actually has the variable aperture on a foldable, which usually is not the case.
So it's never compromised.
Yeah, so that is actually quite good. Lee Hood took a bunch of photos when he was in Korea, and it looks so nice. Very flagship level. Looks very good. And that's one of the best things. But of course, there's lots of AI features like the AI Eraser 2.0, the live translator, and all that kind of stuff.
Is that a proprietary AI?
Yes, it is. No, it is Huawei's very own AI, which is good. The biggest compelling factor that this foldable has compared to any other ones in the market today, especially compared to the Z Fold 7, is the fact that it has 5,700 milliamps of battery compared to the Z Fold 7, which has only 4,400 milliamps of battery.
Thank you, silicon carbon.
Yep. And the charging speed, this is 88 watts of wired and 50 watts of wireless compared to the Z Fold 7, which is 25 watts wired and 15 watts wireless. Okay. Before we go into the question about the whole Google and this being the hardware king, if I were to give you both phones now, let's not talk about recommendations first. Let's just talk about from a build quality perspective and how you look at a phone and which one do you personally prefer, number one, and which one would you recommend to somebody?
Honestly, as foldables come in terms of hardware and how it feels, both are very, very close.
Right? Very
and
close.
it boils down to preference,
Yeah.
to be honest. I prefer this because I've kind of gotten used to the squared edges for a little while. Because when iPhone created that trend again and coming back to squared, everyone went squared.
Yeah.
But again, this feels old in a way because of the curved edges. But I won't take it away from that. I think hardware, even design and build wise, this is also top notch. There's no question about it.
Yeah.
The $1 million question is always, should I recommend or would I recommend a Huawei to a consumer? It boils down to whether Google is important for you and essential for you in daily life.
Yeah.
If it is, it might be a deal breaker because it doesn't have native support. There is Gbox is a workaround, and it works. It's gotten better, but for me, I wouldn't.
Okay.
And this would be the safe choice.
Yeah.
Moving forward.
Okay.
Not taking away of the hardware experience, software experience, support, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
From Google.
Okay. So from a hardware perspective, I guess it is very obvious on which is a bit more superior. But I think from a software perspective is where you need to look at things, because in the end of the day, we are all together have seen how there was a lot of workarounds for GMS. And as a reviewer of Huawei devices, it has always been very stable. Notifications come in very well. Battery drain has never been an issue for any Huawei devices. But it also comes down to whether or not this whole Google ecosystem of software is very much important to you. Because even last time, before it was easier to get apps on a Huawei device, there are certain individuals who just never used Google. No, don't use Gmail. They use like Microsoft Outlook, things like that. So it all comes down to that.
Things like App Store, you can always sideload at that point in time.
So our first impressions for the Huawei Mate X7 is out. I want you all to also see the camera photos because it is a very high quality camera. Something that a lot of foldables that they usually compromise about, but that's not the case on the Huawei Mate X7. So do check out our video. The video is already out of first impressions, and in our in-depth review of the phone, once we get back after we return it later in the evening, let us know in the comment section below what else you want us to review in depth on that, other than the cameras, the battery life. So there's something that we want to see, but obviously it's going to be so much more than the Samsung Z Fold 7. Okay, for the first tech news of the week is something which is very sad, as the thumbnail clearly suggests, that ASUS is exiting the smartphone market. Give us the lowdown on that.
I'm just looking. I know it's sad news, but I'm just looking at this portrait profile photo of Johnny Shea, who's ASUS chairman. It just looks so AI generated. I don't know for some reason.
Yeah, but I think it's not. But okay,
I know it's not. But it's just sorry, guys. It's just digressing. ASUS has announced that they have confirmed during their year-end gala that they are exiting the mobile phone space, which means no new mobile phone devices in the near future. They will still support the existing ones, but don't expect any other ASUS Zenphones or the ROG line in the next in the the coming months and years. And what is exactly dead? The king of gaming phones, ROG, which is really sad. I'm really sad about that.
Yeah.
And the Zenfone line obviously is the compact flagship that some people want. Unfortunately, that is going to be dead. And the reason for this move, no surprise, everyone's moving ahead with AI and putting all their cards into AI. So this is a AI pivot that ASUS is doing, moving all its mobile engineers to its physical AI division, just like how Micron is doing with the DRAM. Yeah.
Okay.
And they've also said that because of the rising cost of components, memory chips in 2025 has really risen, and the margins have become really thin.
Yeah.
So it's not being competitive, and it's hard for them to make it a viable business option for them.
This also reminds me of what Carl Pei said. He always says this in interviews. He said that if I were to give advice, if Carl Pei were to give advice to somebody about coming up with business ideas, he said that he would totally strongly advise against mobile phones because he said that it's a very tough industry and the profit margin that you make is very low.
Wouldn't you say that to consumer tech as a whole?
Is it also because of the fact that there are a lot of smartphone kings out there who selling like literal hotcakes, right? So even though no matter how expensive an iPhone is, but it is still the top selling phone always. Samsung has backing from so many of their products that even if their phones does not sell very well, they will still go on because they're like, oh, I'm making money elsewhere.
That's a very good point.
Yeah,
and I agree with that.
Yeah.
And I think the problem with ASUS is they're not an Apple, they're not a Google, they're not a Samsung. Why? They don't have chips. They don't have the hardware.
Yeah.
The software isn't theirs. The operating system isn't theirs, right? So they're paying for everything, every single component.
Yes.
It's different from how Apple is doing it. It's the entire ecosystem, the supply chain. Yeah. They've got the chips, they've got the operating system, they've got the software.
Every single thing.
Modems, they bring it in-house.
Yeah.
So everything's in-house and you can control pricing and margins from there. Samsung's doing the same.
With
Huawei does with
chipset.
Yeah, obviously Huawei is a little bit of a predicament right now with Kirin.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, that was the correct strategy to to do your own chips and stuff. Xiaomi is doing his own chips.
Yeah, they are.
Slowly but surely.
Yeah.
But I think that's how you kind of play the game. Unfortunately, ASUS is not in that area of advantage compared to the other competitors.
I also feel like it's because probably the marketing per se, like a lot of people still do not know to a point that they are exiting, is that a lot of people do not know that ASUS, like I'm talking about general users, a lot of people do not know that ASUS has a smartphone. They always go like, oh, laptop, especially in Malaysia. And have you ever held a Zenfone before?
Yes, I never. I've owned one or two Zenphones.
Yeah,
yes.
so I never. So it's because of how there's very less market push on this side of the world, which is Asian market per se. They have been pushing their laptops, which is amazing. Their display is one of the best, if not the best displays in the world.
Yeah.
But I think that this is something which is long time coming.
It's true.
So sometimes we forget that they release a phone, right? Until like when we did the Smartphones of the Year award chosen by you, when the ASUS ROG Phone 9 Pro became the best gaming phone, I was like, oh yeah, kind of thing.
It's almost like a by the way thing.
Yeah,
because I think it's because there's just so much competition.
Yeah.
And in the early years, ASUS was doing quite well with the marketing, with the Zenphones.
Yeah.
Very photography focused, which they were great at. And I think ROG itself is a very, very strong product and a very strong brand.
Yes, brand. That's ultimately it.
They've done really well in kind of building the ecosystem of ROG accessories and software and stuff like that for the ROG phone. And I think to this date, nobody has come close yet. Maybe Legion, but otherwise, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, ASUS is still there in terms of ROG, and ROG branding is so strong.
Yeah.
In the laptop space, displays, stuff like that.
So speaking of the Lenovo would you think that this is something whereby Lenovo will be smiling from ear to ear, knowing the fact that, one of the competitors are out because they are the likes of Red Magic, for example? What are your thoughts about now ASUS coming out from there? Who would benefit more? Do you think like the Red Magics of the world or Lenovo's of the world?
Right. I would absolutely come from the standpoint of branding and not so much sales volume. Legion does a lot of things, just like how ASUS does a lot of things. Laptops, displays, mobile phones, yada yada.
Yeah.
Right? Keyboard and whatever. And I think ASUS is losing out by not having a product in the mobile space.
Yeah, I feel the same way too.
Yeah, it's not about money making, it's about presence. And if they lose that, it opens up the market to people like Legion and others like Red Magic, like you mentioned.
Yes, the thing is that, okay, they should have stuck to it, in my opinion. I'm very much echoing what you said. Probably instead of removing the whole mobile experience, at least if you want to remove the Zen phone, because the Zen phone's main selling point was that, it's a compact flagship. Fine. But the ROG phone, but the ROG phone though, it was unique with the whole, the anime matrix at the back.
Exactly.
It had its own character per se, and I like their recent pivot to go towards making a phone that doesn't scream I'm a gamer phone like what Red Magic does with the literal liquid cooling and all.
Yes.
It is a phone that I would say that people who knows best when it comes to gaming, at the same time, you don't want a phone that, is too flashy.
Yeah.
So I feel like if they were to kill the Zenfone line, I'm like, okay, but killing both completely is a sad thing for us consumers.
Yeah, it is sad. But maybe, just maybe, the gaming phone segment is just really small. It's not a volume mover. And really, to the bottom line, is literally nothing. So they're either not profiting or there's really no revenue at all from that. And again, like I mentioned earlier, it's really about branding. It's about market presence.
Yeah, and also every time when we do gaming tests, it's always the flagship which still performs better. Like if you look into the iPhones, although they don't sell the fact that it's a gaming phone,
True,
but
exactly.
people buy it at the backbone kind of thing. They're real serious gamers, and then they'll be like, if I can play it on a OLED screen like this, on an iPhone or even on a Samsung.
Exactly, true. I was just going to touch on that. Do we really need a gaming phone per se? Because I would say all the flagships can game brilliantly, whether it's an iPhone or an Android, without being kind of pigeonholed into this gaming phone category. They're already so good. Maybe what is lacking is, like you also mentioned, accessories, where you can make the gaming phone, the phone experience on the game more complete. Like how ROG has done it.
Yes.
They're really innovators and leaders in the space. So it's a shame when you see a leader kind of exiting, and you're not going to see this kind of breadth and seriousness and focus in this gaming segment.
The Zen phone, you have used it before, I never used it before. Do you agree with my point that it's not as an important phone compared to ROG?
I agree.
Yeah. And so how would you sell the Zen phone to somebody?
I think the latest one was the compact one.
Yeah.
So Zenfone 9, was it? It was a compact one. MKBHD loved it. And I think that was like the only compact phone option that you have in the market. Android. Yeah. iOS, you can go the old iPhone SE or whatever.
Or even the
but that's
mini,
really old.
Yeah, but that's really not
yeah, that's really old. But yeah, that was the single trick pony that ASUS had. But I don't think that's enough. Again, they don't have the marketing muscle to pull competing against the other competitors. So maybe it's time. But the other thought is, what if ASUS sold its brand rights for ROG phone and Zenfone?
It's like a Sony and a TCL thing, which
Sony, TCL, or BlackBerry, remember? Nokia.
Yeah. On a side note, in case you all did not know that Sony has sold their TV rights and sales to TCL, which is kind of expected, but it was sad because the latest Bravia series was actually very good and highly recommended. So that's quite interesting. Maybe we'll talk about that in a separate. thing, because the final thing which I want to ask your thoughts is the support or the support anxiety. Because imagine people who bought the ROG 9 Pro and then things like this happen.
Yeah.
They can always say that, okay, I'll continue to support, or they might not support, or they might put like small patches here and there. What would you say towards people who have done that?
I'm sure there'll be support, but I haven't read anything official yet. There should be support at least a couple of years. Software fixes, updates, stuff like that. There probably won't be major updates to the phone. Again, it's very sad to see. But yeah, what can we do?
Okay.
Corporate decision, unfortunately.
Yeah. Do you think, final question, do you think that they will make a comeback one fine day?
Who knows? I mean, I think as Malaysians, we got used to it at one point where ASUS kind of stopped selling phones in Malaysia for a little while. I think it was a couple of years before the later Zen phones came out. Because, they're not volume sellers and they were under pressure.
Correct.
From top to perform. So,
okay. So,
not a surprise. I would love for ROG to come back.
Yeah.
In the near future.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, from one confirmed shutting down to another one which is rumored to be shutting down, which is OnePlus, aka Abang Vernon says one minus. So there's a massive report from Android headlines that claims that OnePlus is being dismantled and fully absorbed into Oppo. I'm surprised to read this because if you ask me, I'm like, oh, isn't that already happening? Because that's the case right now in Malaysia, whereby if you need to get a review unit from OnePlus, you need to ask Oppo. And half of the time, Oppo doesn't have a review unit. That's one of the reasons why it was so hard for us to get a Find X9 Pro. It sucks because OnePlus had like a proper following, especially in Malaysia. There was a huge community. When I first started off YouTube, I always wanted to grab hold of a OnePlus phone. And even, I think MKBHD was daily driving a OnePlus phone. And somebody asked us at the comment section, I said, why did you include OnePlus in our review? Is because we simply couldn't get our hands on it. Even if you wanted to buy it, it's like almost hard to even get it in stock. So while this particular headline came about, but the OnePlus India CEO, you would think it would be an Indian fella, but no, it's Robin Liu. Immediately went on X to say, no, it's false and misinformation. But here's the thing, there are a bunch of evidence to support that. So go through with us on the evidence on that.
Well, the report claims that OnePlus is struggling.
Yeah.
And is struggling with a 30% drop in market share. And has secretly cancelled the upcoming OnePlus Open 2.
Which I almost forgot about it.
And the compact OnePlus 15S. So, of course, Robin Liu said, nah. We are operating as usual. Never settle.
Yeah. Robin Liu speaks that.
Yes, because he's in India.
Okay.
And I think we've seen this before. LG, remember, another victim of the industry.
Cool. LG was cool. I like the chocolate phone. I remember I had that.
So they denied quitting phones before they quit.
I can't remember that, but apparently so they denied and then they KO.
Because you're not OG enough like me.
No,
I remember.
Yeah, I know. I remember holding an LG, but I didn't know that they maybe that time I was not in the industry per se to know that they claimed that. Oh no, we're not. That's for me. It's like one day I'm using an LG phone. Next day, I'm using a BlackBerry phone. Yeah,
but also, if you look at people like Sony Mobile, at one stage they were like, kind of dying as well at one stage.
That's why the mobile industry, that's why Carl Pei says that it's not the best business in the world. And of course, the other reality check is the fact that, OnePlus have been slowly merging with Oppo.
But they're all from the same family.
It is under the BBK Electronic anyway. But I like how like Vivo operates separately. They do things.
But some of the core components,
components are the same.
Are shared.
Yeah, it is.
Which is a smart business move, obviously.
Yeah.
But the brands run independently. But I think over the years, at least recently, OnePlus just hasn't been doing well, and it's no longer special.
Yeah.
You know, OnePlus used to be this super special
Flagship killer.
challenger
Yeah.
brand
Yeah.
that was a flagship killer, and flagship killer literally was a term that they coined.
Yeah, exactly.
And then
They
everybody
started this.
else started using flagship
Yeah.
killer.
Yeah.
And then everybody's flagship killer was killing its own flagships. And, you
Yeah.
know,
That's
but
true.
the fact is, OnePlus no longer special in this sea of sameness. And we know all the phones look the same. They are at this high level where the flagships are really good and the standards are really high. It's hard for someone like OnePlus to challenge the big guys. And yeah, so ultimately that's the reality. It's not a surprise if they kind of shut down, but BBK is still a huge company.
Yeah.
Still has other brands on it. It's easy to start another brand if they want to. Start fresh.
Before the so-called merging of OnePlus and also Oppo, the Hasselblad brand was always under OnePlus, not under Oppo.
Hasselblad, yeah.
Yeah,
The
and
collaboration.
I feel the moment that suddenly the Hasselblad came to Oppo phones, that's where OnePlus was a bit like, they were abandoned per se. That's one. Number two, I used to really, really love Oxygen OS. It used to be one of my favorite clean software. And this is like even before One UI was even introduced. Of course, definitely before Hyper OS, which was introduced. But yeah, Oxygen OS was so nice. And I remember very clearly this like early 2020, just before the pandemic, OnePlus was the phone where people go like, oh my God, you got a OnePlus. And even the OnePlus Open was one of the very first foldable which had that square form factor, if you're not looking at the Microsoft, right? So it is sad. For me, if you ask me which hurts more, whether ASUS stopping smartphones or OnePlus shutting down, maybe because I daily drove a OnePlus phone for the longest time, I'm a bit more sad about this particular brand because it had so much potential and it had a proper fan base, not only across the world, but also here in Malaysia. So, yeah.
But do you think the signs were there when they stopped using Oxygen OS?
Yeah.
It was like, okay, what makes you special has been removed.
Yeah, exactly.
And your crown jewels are no longer your crown jewels.
But I'm trying to understand what happened, right? Like no one did a video about it. Yes, we know it's under the
it can be
same
development,
company.
right?
Yeah, it could be that, hey, we don't have enough budget to have a separate team for this. Not only from a marketing standpoint, but probably from a developer standpoint. Maybe there's no more a product team for OnePlus.
Exactly. Not enough resources.
Yeah, so I think that's the sad thing. Do you think that OnePlus is going to totally disappear because of this, or they are just going to be rebranded as an Oppo Lite per se?
Wow, hard to say. I mean, Oppo Lite is a good way to put it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't think it can exist by just being a minimal brand. It's better to exit completely if you're not going to put your heart and soul in it.
Good point.
Your resources.
Yeah.
Because again, competition is so tight.
Yep. Agreed.
If you're going to be half-hearted about it, you're never going to make it. So,
but on one end, what's weird is that, usually when there are rumors, you don't usually get CEOs going out there and making a claim. Oh, no, don't worry, we are there. Why am I sounding like Indian fella? See what you have done. What are your thoughts about that? Why do you think that if it's really untrue, although results shows otherwise, why do you think that the CEO came out to X or Twitter for this case and say that?
I mean, the CEO's role is to be calm and say everything is okay. He answers to the shareholders, and if he rocks the boat, that's not going to be good for market sentiment and not very good for the shareholders.
He could have just kept quiet and say, those are rumors. But knowing the fact that he went out there to specifically say it is not true, it's like...
When you got to deny something that's not true is usually true.
It's like Bill Clinton. I did not have... Yeah, so, okay. Okay, so now the next question is the flagship killer legacy, right? So if OnePlus really goes away and ASUS already confirmed gone. The Android market is basically saying, okay, I just only have these options, which is Samsung, Google, and Xiaomi. So,
What you're saying is there's going to be less competition, is that it? Or
yeah.
I don't think so.
But on the other hand,
there are enough
I
brands
don't
to go
think,
around.
So I'm just looking at both sides. On one end, it does seem like, there's less competition. But on the other hand, even though there was the ROG phones, even though there was the OnePlus phone, at this point in time, I don't think people are going out there and buying the phones in the first place.
Yeah.
Hence why ASUS decided to, I might as well put our resources on something different.
Didn't exactly make a dent in the universe, kind of, so to speak.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
does it matter? Yeah, probably not much.
And I like what you said about how, in the end of the day, like everybody's a flagship killer in terms of even they're the flagship killing their own self. That's a super good point. It's like chin, chin, chin.
And OnePlus,
it's the same brand.
yeah, OnePlus once said that we have no competition. Our competition is with ourselves.
Yo.
Now we killed ourselves. Flagship killed by the flagship.
Gone.
Flagship killer killed by the flagship killer.
That's quite an interesting point. I think that should be our title. Okay, so for your specific
another
area,
IO.
Another IO. This one you go with it first. Is the who asked for this, which we need to copyright it because some people are starting to use that term. So please do something about it.
Trademark. Trademark lawyers out there,
Abang Vernon Chan. Okay. What for your segment of who asked for this? Give us the lowdown. What's happening?
So everything is being turned on its head and going vertical. We talked about this in the last episode where Disney Plus, is now integrating vertical videos and content into its app. So now our abangs in Netflix are also doing the same thing. And in their quarterly 4 earnings call in this month, Netflix confirmed the massive app redesign, which is coming, that is going to put your favorite vertical video feed in the app, front and center.
Okay.
And it just confirms the TikTokification of streaming. This is just days after Disney did it. So they are confirming that they're redesigning their mobile app specifically to feature a scrollable feed of snackable clips. And just like Disney Plus, it's going to be more than just trailers. It's going to be, they're going to add video podcasts. They're going to add BTS scenes, shots into the feed and stuff like that. They really want you to get hooked on Netflix, as if we're not hooked on Netflix. They want you to open it every day, be like a super app like Grab, where you do everything, buy everything via an app, and it's the same.
You open Grab every day?
Yeah, to order food. Or get a ride, or use Grab Express, or, stuff like that. Yeah. And I guess they're tired of losing your attention to IG Reels and TikTok.
Well,
they're trying to compete with IG and TikTok. Can you imagine that?
Who would have thought? I mean, like first it's Disney
different.
Plus,
Yeah.
which I'm like, okay. And then Netflix. I think no matter how they try to fight it, they cannot win Instagram, TikTok, especially YouTube. Look, I know we are a YouTube creator, but in the end of the day, the result shows that people watch more YouTube on their TVs compared to Netflix and the Disney Plus of the world. Disney Plus has a huge advantage of literally getting the whole Marvel thing, right? But Netflix,
if you're a Marvel fan, but if you're not
DC fan, then you HBO Max, which means which Netflix is going to have HBO soon because.
So in the next episode, we'll be talking about HBO doing vertical video.
Hopefully not. I'm sick and tired of vertical video. Just die already. Die. Okay.
But what's this Netflix trying to be a social app? Are they really trying to be a social app?
Yeah, because they're trying to do the whole
grabbing
game.
your attention.
Have you played the game on
I haven't
Netflix?
played, but it's
I
kind of
see like a Street Fighter, or I'm a Street Fighter fan, but
you know what's interesting? Apple has mulled doing this, right? With not mulled, but they've actually delivered. Apple Arcade can be played on Apple TV device, so it's not only about consuming, TV content and stuff like that, but you can also play games on it.
Yeah.
Connect a PS4 controller or an Xbox controller to your Apple TV, and there you go. You have a games console.
Yeah.
Netflix is also doing that. Number one is another revenue stream. It gets you hooked, right? And you're constantly on the app.
They're apparently looking at game streaming as well, like Game Pass.
Yeah, I mean,
it's
I think it's a great idea. So
Yeah.
you have one central place for all your content and entertainment. Makes sense.
Wow.
Business sense, at least.
You wrote here that apparently Netflix tried this years ago with Fast Laughs and it failed. I had no idea. What is Fast Laugh? Give us the...
I'm not so sure about this fast laugh thing.
Okay. Oh, must be your note. Yeah, so
I think
tell
it was
us about
Side's
Fast
notes
Laugh.
about Fast
Sorry,
Laugh.
Abang. Yeah.
It's more like snippets of
Comedy skits and
yeah.
stuff, yeah.
Like
Was it on a vertical...
it wasn't vertical.
That's
but it
why
was-
lah.
Yeah, but it was like those short things.
So
where
they might bring it back to the
they
vertical.
might, yeah, too vertical. But I think those kind of things work for vertical video.
But like we talked about micro dramas in the last one, about how it's gaining popularity. They could introduce stuff like that into the vertical format. But okay, one point. You know how Gen Zs and Alphas aside, remember the concept of the second screen, where while we're watching stuff on TV, we're constantly on our phones. And we're doing something else. We're scrolling. It becomes white noise.
My wife is like that.
We're purportedly watching the latest series or drama or whatever, but we're scrolling IG or we're doing that. And that covers across generations, not just Gen Z and Alphas. Everybody's doing it.
But that has become a mandate for the Netflix higher-ups for shows or movies that's on Netflix right now. They specifically tell writers and directors, the creatives basically, saying it has to be second screen friendly.
Yeah.
Meaning like the movie can go on, but you will be still enjoying it while you're like scrolling or texting, whatever. Which is absolutely bonkers to me.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, in terms of a concept, what if there's content that's related to the movie you're watching?
Like your IMDb for the movie.
Yeah, it could be something related, not exactly what you see on screen, but it's related to whatever content that you're watching and you could interact with it.
Are you the kind of person like when you watch a movie, you go like, hey, why this film looks familiar? And then you go IMDb, look for it. I do that a lot.
Yeah, I do that too.
There you go. So, okay, if you tell me things like that, I understand. But creating content specifically...
Vertical.
Or like an entire movie. And that's one I...
How often do you watch things on Netflix on your phone?
The last thing
on your
which
phone.
On the phone, the last time I did it because I just wanted to finish it is that PDD rubbish. Yeah.
The PDD again.
Yeah, because I
His favorite documentary.
I just wanted to find out, like, not of that sexual rubbish, but it's more like from how he started. Because in my eyes, he was always that, like, by the way guy, but who knows, he was the evilest person on planet Earth. But yeah, so that's the last time. The reason why, because I was getting my steps in, because ever since with Mikhail, I hardly work out except for pickleball once a week with you. So I was getting my steps in. I was like, oh, let me just finish it. But prior to that, my last show was Stranger Things. And even that as well, I want to watch it on a TV. I never like to watch on the phone either way.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, so for me, that's why and if you say these things like your IMDb or like something that supports the particular show, then it's fine. But if it's a dedicated content which has like, or if it's the content has to do like totally like unrelated to the show, then I'm like, why even bother?
But I mean, the second screen aside, if you're just talking about Netflix when let's say you're on the go or you're just chilling and you're on the phone, then it'll be a different story. If consuming vertical content might actually make sense.
Yeah. Okay.
Because you're not going to watch long form so much.
Yeah.
Maybe on your mobile phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I hope next week we won't be talking about any other vertical
Let's
TV
just
content.
hope not.
Yeah, because for me,
maybe Suka will come. Oh, we're doing a vertical scroll,
That's
and
okay.
you
I'll
can
just
watch
say
your
Tak
Premier
Suka.
League matches in vertical format.
All right. The community segment relates to what we talked about earlier, which is software. And while we already kind of know the answer for me and Vernon, but you'll talk about it, we also want to know from your point of view. So,
You know my answer?
which is, I would
guess.
I
Okay.
would guess maybe I'm wrong. Okay. Which is the best Android skin in your opinion? Tell us below and let us know if you have other favorites in the comments. Reason being, because it's only limited to 4 different choices. There's One UI, Pixel UI, Color OS, Nothing OS. Now the reason why I say Android skin because iOS is by itself, and I was surprised because I thought I was only a fan favorite of One UI, but no, it's 56%, followed by Color OS, which is 23%.
So Samsung and Oppo users in our audience.
Yeah, and if it's for me, I would put Origin OS because I still prefer that more than what Color OS. But we will see the comments. Before we look into the comments, tell us your feedback on this. Do you think that the poll makes sense? And is that something that you are leaning towards as well?
Whether it makes sense is a matter of not only preference but also the market share of devices, within our audience. So it looks like primarily Samsung users and also Oppo.
Okay.
Yeah. My choice, and I ranked it, in sequence, Nothing OS first.
Yeah, I'm surprised that is not number 1.
Yeah, so Nothing OS, One UI, Pixel UI, and Color OS last.
Okay.
That's my choice anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, I would love to have Lineage OS in there, but unfortunately.
My pick is very obvious. If you watch our videos for the longest time, is One UI number 1. Number 2 would be Origin OS, because Origin OS I feel it's a good. So we are doing a 3 months review follow up for the Vivo X300 Pro, and spoiler alert on that video. What I'm trying to say is that a lot of people says that Origin OS is trying their best to copy iOS. But it still feels like an Android phone. It still uses like an Android phone. You can have iOS like look and iOS like feature, but you can still dial it down to make it look like an Android phone. Things like the Easy Share works flawlessly. Sometimes it works even better than an iPhone.
AirDrop.
Yeah, like the AirDrop is called Easy Share.
A bit touch and go.
I know it has been, especially lately, which is annoying. Especially like when I'm trying to transfer from my Mac to my phone, I do not know why it's suddenly giving problems. Never had that issue with Origin OS. I like the idea of copying and pasting a text from a website, and then you just hover over to the Origin island, which is Apple's dynamic island, and then he immediately comes out with different apps. So when I'm trying to copy and paste something to a person, I can just do it over there. And it feels so nice and smooth. So that is my number 2. And I would go with Nothing OS number 3. And I think for the rest of it is like, by the way, I haven't been a fan of Color OS. I never liked it then. I'm still not a fan of it
not
now.
a fan.
Let's check out the comments. We have Thomas Forkey, and he says Hyper OS. Nice. So like I told Syed, we have a lot of Xiaomi
users.
viewers over here.
I don't mind HyperOS or MIUI.
Yeah.
I don't mind it.
I don't like MIUI, but I like HyperOS.
I don't mind
Yeah,
it.
HyperOS is really beautifully made, but it still doesn't top what One UI has done. So probably if I had to put a scale, I would put the HyperOS and Origin OS as same. But the way One UI uses and the way One UI works on not only regular phones, but also on a foldable and even on a tablet. Like I've been using the Tab S11 Ultra, which is unwieldy, but I've been using it every day. Why? That is my tablet to see Mikhail's schedule and also to use the app, which is so useful for my house. Anyway, Shash says, I find One UI slow and cumbersome. Keep it authentic and stock. Wow.
Okay. So he likes the stock Android.
But I don't know why is it slow, because I never experienced it being slow.
Do you ask what device he's using?
No, we didn't ask. So if you are watching this, let us know in the comments which
Could be a
exact.
Galaxy S3.
The question is that even One UI is available for Galaxy S3. I don't think so. We have several people actually commented. We have Sweeterson 7 says, how many OS? I agree. Harmony OS is very good.
Harmony. Oh, okay.
Yeah, Harmony.
Okay.
Yeah,
Harmony
but
OS
it's
across different devices. Okay.
Yeah. Then the Black Digger. What's up, brother? Welcome back. For how One UI has saved us from horrors of TouchWiz and
Oh
Samsung.
my God, TouchWiz. Samsung what experience?
This is why I said it once, I said it twice, I say it 50 times. Bro,
He sounds like an OG,
you.
man.
Yeah, you sound like an OG. We want
Sounds
you to
like an
come
OG.
here, but you don't want to come. Anyway, I think it deserves the top spot. And I agree with you, buddy, because One UI compared to last time. So here's where, you know how like they say that, you know, certain companies will remove a feature and then after they bring it back and go like, whoa. But I don't think that's the case for One UI. They genuinely wanted to make sure that everything was perfect on their current software. And that's one of the biggest reasons why people are buying the trifold. Right, and that would be the reason why I would also choose One UI. Kainana says Harmony OS. Interesting. And then Mr. Jojo0421. I'm currently using Magic OS. Isn't it Honor? Right?
Yes.
Oh, okay. And
Old
it's
version.
way better than my previous phone running on Hyper OS. Really enjoying it. I don't know because I never used an Honor phone since I went to France with Emily. How many
You
years
lost
ago was
your
that?
magic.
Yeah, 2008, 2009, I
Wow.
think. Yeah, I never used an Honor phone since then.
That's a long time.
Yeah,
bro.
I know. Correct. Not
Maybe you
2008
should
one,
try
was it
again.
2028, 2018.
You should try
what,
again.
8 pula. 2018.
18, yeah, it can't be 2008.
8 pula. What am I talking about? Sorry,
They
2018,
didn't- they didn't exist
2019.
then.
Yeah. Then Ed says Harmony OS. That's quite interesting. A lot of people are liking Harmony OS. Do you want us to do a video on Harmony OS?
I think you should.
Let us know in the comment section below. Nickel Mayhew says Oxygen OS. Yes, I do miss it dearly. It's a very, very good software. It was the closest to stock Android then. Like, you know, on the Nokia A1 had it and it was so beautiful. Nash Day says One UI is definitely the best one out there. Next is Color OS. I don't like Color OS. But yes, One UI is my favorite. And then here's where, Abang, you actually put there nothing and then one.
Yeah.
What's one? Oh, One UI. Oh, One UI is number 2. And then Pixel is next. And then Color OS is the third one,
So
fourth
if
one.
you read it, it's
Yeah. Okay. God is a nothing one pixel color. And then the Pie Snatcher, welcome back, buddy. He said, how can people love Samsung One UI? Is never going to be understood by me. It's so bad. It's funny. Wow, really, bro? Sorry,
No,
I
find
really
it
like
bad.
it.
I don't think it's bad. I think especially for foldables, they've done
Yeah,
a great
okay.
job.
So Nash Days asked, why do you say it's that bad? I love it. And then he replied to say, maybe it's just me, but I feel it's really clunky. If you use Vivo or Google, the OS is so light and easy to use and clean. I feel Samsung is too modified. I would strongly disagree because I use Vivo and I use a Pixel phone. I honestly feel that before Origin OS was even introduced, it felt more clunky. Color OS feels more clunky than One UI. But yeah, I mean, we respect
each
people's
his own,
decisions. I mean, opinions and stuff.
Sure.
So Nash Day's reply by saying, personally, I feel that Samsung added a lot of quality of life stuff into One UI.
Yep.
And I believe that's true. And until today, like, you know how a lot of Android brands are leaning towards Germanized AI, calling it theirs. Samsung is the only one which had their own AI by itself, which is Galaxy AI, which is totally different. Galaxy AI's removal is better than Google's Magic Eraser.
Better than any other.
So the thing is that Samsung's, and again, it's not Samsung, it's One UI. And One UI's software equals to Galaxy AI anyway. So that's why it's superior. I think being clunky probably, because even bloatware, it's not as bad as Vivo or Huawei's of the world, where the bloatware is massive. The only bloatware per se that One UI gives is their own versions of like things.
there's a repetition like its own
but it's not
calendar
that
app
bad.
or
Yeah,
Notes
yeah,
app
exactly.
or-
The Notes
yeah,
app and
yeah,
whatever,
yeah.
which you can always uninstall and it doesn't. It's not as bad as a Vivo phone or
you
an
get some
Oppo
weird
phone.
games
Yeah,
and
weird games and
whatever.
weird social media kind of thing. So I think, but Pie Snatcher, I respect your opinion as usual, especially since you're a old timer here in the channel. But yes, as usual, what I always tell you all, that every single Tuesday, Syed will be asking a question in the community post, and then we'll be going through every single answer of yours. So be sure to comment as soon as that is up. Okay, so that concludes episode number 44 of What the Tech. If you're watching this on a Saturday, we are most probably releasing the Poco F8 Ultra video review. Probably we can talk about that as our devices next week, since the video is not out just yet. So side take note. Also, in the video, we finally did a back-to-back audio test using our binaural microphones for you to hear exactly how the speakers are compared to the iPhone 17 Pro Max and also the Galaxy S25 Ultra. I was really, really shocked by the results. So if you haven't watched that video when this is out, be sure to check it out as well. We also released our interview session with Matthew Ng, who is the head of Samsung Electronics Mobile Experience. And we talked about agentic AI on how that might be coming to the S26 series. So be sure to check that video out as well. And of course, our 3-month review of the Vivo X300 Pro might be coming out tomorrow when you're watching this as well. So with that, we'd like to say thank you so much for joining us here for What the Tech episode number 44. My name is Adam Lobo.
My name is Vernon. See you in the next one.
Bye-bye.